Hey, y'all. And I was
How
telling
dare
her,
you?
I
How
was telling her
dare
how
you?
many hours
Join the show.
Oh shit. Hey, damn. I'm sitting here. My bad, y'all. I got this beer and this refrigerator in this hotel room. Got my beer warm in a mug. Hey, so good evening, good evening, good evening. This won't be a long one tonight, but we did want to check in with y'all. We're down here, of course, as you know, in Puerto Rico. Hopefully the sound is good. Um, but as you can see, I don't have my lovely co-host. And at the moment, I don't know where she is. I want to say I don't know what she is, like her exact whereabouts. I know she's somewhere in the area, but you know what? The show got to go on, so we're gonna figure out where Sarah is a little bit later. Hopefully, she'll call me or something. Well, no, don't call me because I'm on my phone. But anyway, so we're gonna come with y'all tonight, real short. But I did want to touch on a couple of things. First of all, if you have been to Puerto Rico, hey Miss Lola, how you doing? If you have been to Puerto Rico, let us know some things that you have done or you plan on doing if you're coming down here. But before I get into that, real quick, I want to do what we always do before each show, and that is go over our three core principles. Since my cohort here is not available, I have to fix my own stumbles because she always got my back. But anyway, our first core principle is 80-20. Now, we believe in 80-20 in our marriage and pretty much life in general. Um, and it means that if you get 80% of the stuff you want out of Yeah, no problem. We're gonna do more of these, Miss Lola. But 80% means 80-20 means you get 80% out of the stuff that you want. And the 20% you just gotta charge it to the game. So if you get a job, you get 80% out of the job or your marriage, you gotta take it. You ain't gonna get 100%. It is what it is. Number two, we believe in a traditional marriage. Hey, if you believe in something different, no problem. We don't have any problems with that. It just works out good for us. We've seen good models of it, and it works well. And three, always date. You should always date. We date at least once a week, whether it be in the house or it be outside of the house. We try to get one quality date in a week. And it don't have to be a lot of money or spend a lot of money or anything like that. It just has to be quality time that you dedicate to one another. So let's go ahead and get into it. We did this little trip. We have a couple of couples down. We have a couple, a couple of couples down here with us, and it was really just a trip to get couples away, get out, fellowship, have some fun, eat some good food, enjoy some fantastic scenery, and just get away from the everyday hustle and bustle of life. For those, some of us who are kind of tired to work for whatever reasons, I mean, for obvious reasons, I should say, it's hard to totally disconnect. But you know what? It's a lot better to answer the phone with a problem when you're walking on the beach than it is when you're 15 minutes away from your job. You know what I mean? But so a couple of things about Puerto Rico, and even though I kind of knew, but growing up, I always thought Puerto Rico was was a different country where you had to have a passport. But of course, it is a U.S. territory. So you can come to Puerto Rico just like you go anywhere else in the U.S. Right now, there's no additional. When we booked this or planned the trip 6 months ago, there were some restrictions. Had to be vaccinated, show proof of vaccination when you come into the airport, and also have to wear a mask everywhere you go. So the vaccination requirement has been lifted, so you don't have to be vaccinated. And for the most part, the mask mandate has been lifted as well. So now there are a few places, a few businesses that still ain't too bad, even though it's warm. Is still a few businesses that require you to wear masks, but for the most part, it's kind of wide open. Another thing as well, for those who don't know, since it is a U.S. territory, there's almost like dual languages. So everywhere you go, there's Spanish and also English. They did that on the plane. The announcements were in Spanish and English coming down. So you won't have any problems with any kind of language barriers. Now, of course, the natives do have a very, very hard accent. So I had to look at my wife a few times when we were talking to people that the natives here. I did a lot of shaking my head, like, yeah. Didn't know what the hell they was talking about. But you know what? Hey, you got to fake it till you make it, right? But for the most part, it'll be very, very close to what you're used to back in the mainland. Of course, they got some of your big box restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, and all that Subway. But you don't want to go to another island and have a damn Subway sandwich. But they do have a lot of Cuban, Puerto Rican, African, and places to serve kind of traditional dishes from those areas, because Puerto Rico is kind of like a melting pot in its own right of islanders. So you get a lot of fantastic food. People are typically in good spirits. Everybody's nice. The weather is good. So this time of the year right now, the daytime it's about 85, and at nighttime it's about 74. And that's the schedule pretty much. Well, that's the weather conditions mostly for this whole week. 85, 84 during the day, and about 72, 73 at night. So it's really, really nice weather. And the water this time of year isn't the warmest that it will get, but it's warmer than being like out there in LA in the Pacific where it's freezing cold. So you can come down here around this time and get away from the cooler than normal temperatures up in the States. So I'm gonna get to this question or get to the topic that we're just gonna talk about real quick here before I get out here and try to find my lovely wife. The topic that I just want to talk about briefly is you've heard it. The couple did a $500 wedding, a $500 wedding. So let me just read the headline. LA couple spends $500 on a wedding day. Bride says she said yes to a $47 dress. I wish I had my machine because I hit the button so hard. But she said yes to a $47 machine. I mean, rep, $47 dress. So let's see. They were in LA too. Joel and Kiera Brokenborough met back in 2016 in Vegas and kept in touch on social media. They reconnected in 2018 and started dating a little bit after that. The couple said they both connected over their spirituality and they're engaged for engaged for 1 month before getting married in February 12th, 2022. So I know a lot of people who, I won't say a lot, but I've heard more than I thought of people who get married in a very short amount of time. But yeah, they got married they dated for 1 month strong. She said it was so refreshing being at that wedding, seeing her, seeing how much we thought of us, how much we wanted this to happen. So for it to happen was a dream come true. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but my question is this, ladies, you meet your now husband in Vegas. Y'all stay in touch through social media, maybe a few Instagrams, a few Facebook messages, text message, whatever the case is. Then y'all hook up and start dating. And y'all set a big budget of $500. You say yes to a $47 dress. My question to ladies, would you marry your husband, not knowing who the guy he is now, because I know you got a lot of feelings for him now, but would you marry him if he said, hey, I got a budget, it's really all about me and you, I got a budget of $500. This is what we're going to work with. We're going to go ahead and do this and make it official. So ladies, would you go ahead and say yes to a $47 dress and a $500 total wedding? Why don't you drop that in the chat for me, for the folks that's in here. So they live in Southern California too. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go over this just a little bit while y'all answer. Anybody that knows anything about Southern California, it's extremely expensive. I mean, you can live in a 1-bedroom apartment out there for, and okay, when I say okay, it means that you hear gunshots, but they ain't necessarily coming through your walls, for $2,000 a month. So I understand, hey, preserving as much cash as you can, especially when the cost of living is so extreme. But I think when I first heard this, I said, you know what, a $500 wedding, how'd they do it? But in actuality, once you really think about it, it's not too far off from doing, say, a courthouse wedding, right? Some people that do courthouse weddings actually put on their attire like they're going to get married, walk down the aisle in front of a lot of people. She puts on a dress, he puts on his tux or a suit, and they go ahead, go to the justice peace and make official, have somebody official there. Or like what we seen about a month and a half ago when me and my wife were at the park, they were at shelter number 3 at the local park, large park. Had the pastor there, some group of friends, they weren't dressed up. They went ahead and said their vows right there in the shelter, made it official. You think about it, it's like, man, I want something a little more. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just realize, like, you know what? We just need to go ahead and make this official. So Lola said, I have to think about that. And when a woman says, I got to think about that, initially she's saying, no, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that, but let me think about it, see if I'll sort of change my damn mind. But yeah, I think that's a tough one to ask. You know what I'm saying? I think because for the most part, ladies grow up with an idea of what they like when they become of age, what they would like their wedding to be. I'm not saying it's not special to guys, because it is, but it's more special to the soon-to-be wife. it's a very, very special day for both, but more so for the wife. She wants her hair a certain way, dressed. Everybody, everything's got it. She just wants it a special way. So I think it'd be a lot to ask. But at the other side too is like, hey, this guy says, hey, this is what I can do at this time. I think we should preserve this money for X, Y, and Z that we can get more return on. But we're setting the budget of $500. So let me read a little bit more about this. Shakira had driven through Los Angeles Crest Highway years prior, heading to a concert with friends, and remember, it was a place she wanted to get married. The couple did not need to purchase a public permit because their guest count was under 75. The couple only invited 30 to 40 relatives and close friends. So they went ahead and went to an area, I guess a flat area, invited 30 to 40 close friends and relatives, and got married. He had on this tuxedo. He bought a nice outfit. It was like a dinner jacket. She had on a $47 dress, which was nice. And they made it official. He said, "Yeah, you know what? I got my my bad, y'all. I got my outfit. I can wear this another time when I go out on a nice upscale date." And she had her wedding dress. Let's see. Nola said, "Not only that, we need more time together because I got to know you're better than long distance." Hey, I hear you on that, but I also hear. So I'm in a very large marriage group, and someone posted a question. They said, how many people got married in under a year or less of knowing each other? And there's over 1 million people in this group, and I was surprised of it was thousands of people who replied that they got married under 6 months, with some of them, a lot of them, getting a proposal within the first 30 days. Now, modern times, that seems crazy, right? But if you research a lot about marriage in itself, back in the day, and I'm not talking back in like the 1800s, I'm talking, 60 years ago, what was that, in the 60s and 50s, like that, dad went to talk to another guy and he found your husband for you. A little different times back then because it wasn't about romantic love. It was about you leaving your dad's home and I'm gonna find the right guy for you to hand you off to. Y'all make a family, y'all grow up together, and y'all provide good, dutiful kids to society. That was a whole basis of marriage, has always been, but especially back then. Let's see. Lo says some people just want the marriage title. That is true. Some people do, but you know what, too, Miss Lola? What I found out, some people just want to make it right. And when I say that, I mean they have the idea that, you know what, let's just go ahead and do this. Now I know that's the minority by and large, but I think if you look into how many people actually either go to the justice of the peace or get married soon, or people that, hey, there's countless stories of people that go to Vegas and get married to somebody they meet while they're in Vegas. Now I know that's a really anomaly as well, but stranger things have happened. Somebody says, I can't see the name, says, that's my story. Whoever said that's my story, type your name, just give us a little bit history of that, like the time frame. So type your name and then type how long y'all were dating before y'all got married or got a proposal or something like that. So as strange as it may think, I know we always have the propensity to think, you know what, you really can't get married until you know somebody. But damn it, do you really ever know anybody? You really don't know anybody until you live with them. And and sometimes you may find out new things about your spouse years down the road that you may not have known. But then again, that's also the beauty in it, right? Because let's face it, the first time you really meet your significant other that you're married to today, that first date, typically those first couple of dates, the first few times that you meet, That is the highest enjoyment, the euphoria and the all the butterflies that you will receive. It all goes progresses downhill from there, albeit extremely slow, right? Let me say that again. The most euphoric typically you will be about your spouse is the first few times that y'all spend time together and acknowledge that you like each other. And it's a slow progression. Now, when I say slow, I don't mean like the next day is terrible, but it's just a slow progression of that euphoria. That's just natural. That's just humans. Just like your job, just like the car you get, right? And I'm not comparing marriage to a car, but you get the idea. You'll never be as excited about your car until like the first day you picked it up. That's not a bad thing. That's just the way that we work. So it ain't so much about knowing the person as much, in my opinion, as much as it is understanding that, hey, this is who I want to go ahead and do this with. And we're going to learn and work this. We're going to build this plane while we're flying it. A lot of people do that. You find out things just like you would if you were just dating. It's really not that much difference. All right. So Gerald says, yeah, 32 years of marriage and 32 years and they married within 6 months. Wow. See, let me tell y'all something about men. And a lot of women may already know this. When men find exactly what they want, they move fast. And it's because, for the most part, men are territorial. They find something, we want it all to ourselves. Oh, you available? Oh, wait a minute, you got interest in me? Are we connecting? Cool. Let's go ahead and do this. Now, it is very important that the lady at that time is ready, because if she's not, or something not seeming right, or she's really about the romantic part, she might say something to the effect of, man, girl, he was moving too fast. Yes, he was moving fast, but what's wrong? Yeah, because he found exactly what he wanted. Look, it's hard. Think about this, ladies. Put your men goggles on for a minute. In order to really get what you want from a woman, you got to put some time in. You got to put some time in. You got to be okay with being rejected. You got to be okay with being in awkward, having, look, it as much as y'all may think it's easy. Now, it's easier for some guys, especially if they're desirable men or they have characteristics that separate them from the average guy. But for the average guy, which is 80% of us, it's tough. I'm gonna give y'all a kind of a scenario to let y'all know how it is. So say a guy wants to get the honey pot, right? Look, if he wants to get from up at the plate swinging all the way around all the bases and back to home, he's got to, at least the average guy's probably got to talk to about 4 women, at least the average guy. If you meet 4 women, you're going to say you get 4 phone numbers, you're going to click with maybe 3 of them. One's going to ghost you. 2 you might have good conversations with, and 1 you may make it all the way around to the bases. So imagine how many women he has to go through just to find the one that he wants to marry. So getting a home base is one thing, but checking the small amount of boxes, guys only really have about 4 boxes. We're gonna go over that in one future cast, but they only got a few boxes that need to be checked before they go ahead and make it official. So when he meets you and you checking all them boxes, boom, 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 and then boom, you're like, okay, yeah. When he meets you that first time, he's doing the second date. On that second date, he's asking the other questions that he wants to ask. And by the second or third date, he knows, first of all, about the first date, he knows if you're marriage material. Second and third date, he knows if you're going to marry you or not. And that is pretty much a fact for most guys. And if I'm lying, guys, tell me in the chat. Again, the first conversation or 2 He knows if you are marriage material, if he knows how to properly vet a woman. He knows if he's going to marry you soon after that, meaning that he's made the decision that, oh, you know what, I can marry this girl. Now, doesn't mean he's going to propose in the first few weeks, but he knows if he's going to marry you. He's either going to say this, like, oh, yeah, let's make this official. Let's go ahead. Or he's going to say, no, I'm not ready right now. I'm just, just kind of working on myself, trying to get some things in order. When a guy says that, he just puts your ass in the friend zone. Women do it all the time, but they hate it when it's done for them. But anyway, I ain't going to keep y'all too long tonight. But hey, we are in Puerto Rico. We are having a good time. We may pop in a little live sometime this weekend. We got a few events lined up. We're going to go through Old San Juan. So if you know anything about Puerto Rico, very, very cultured state. It is very, very cultured. We're going to go to Old San Juan and go check that out. Going to ride the four-wheelers as well. And I guess, I need to find out where my damn wife is. They all out having a good time and catch up, but I wanted to make sure I took some time to say hello to y'all, let y'all know we haven't forgot about y'all. I know it was a little bit of short notice for the group to actually come down here, but we want to do something, even though back then when we planned it was still in pandemic, something that we felt that was kind of low risk, high reward, so to speak, that a place that we could go enjoy something just in case the COVID restrictions weren't lifted. So we'll do another one of these once the group starts growing, and we'd love to have you guys join us. So, hey, thank y'all so much. I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing going out, find my wife wherever she is located at. Let me see. Oh, this is pretty good. And go ahead and start enjoying the rest of the night. Hopefully I got a good connection. Hope y'all enjoyed just a little bit of live. If you would, drop in the chat your name, because I can't see them since I am on my cell phone. And if you have any suggestions, recommendations, or anything that we could do while we're down here, we got a few things that we do have lined up, but it's always good to have the recommendations from people who've actually been here and done certain things. Word of mouth is probably the best advertisement out there. But thank y'all so much. I don't know where the end button is, so if you see me looking real goofy trying to find a button, that's what I don't know where it's at here since I'm on my phone. But thank y'all. Have a good night, and we'll catch y'all a little bit later. See ya.